There's the man, there's the myth, and there's the legend, and he happens to be all three of them. You're in here, that's because you're a huge horror nerd, and there's very few people on the Mount of Rushmore of horror than Tom Savini. So what all I'm going to do is say, stand up if you can, move up if you want. All you people, just feel in, scream for Tom Savini.
Hey, thank you for that. You must like me.
They love you.
What's wrong with you people?
They were at the VIP party last night. They're still hungover.
You're still in VIP mode, I see.
They're still in VIP mode. So I've had the privilege of doing this so many times with you, and I go out of my way to try to ask things that other people don't ask all the time, because you've been asked every question conceivably 46,000 times. But one of the best panels I ever did was 10 years ago, and it was with George, just a few minutes before he passed, or a few months before he passed, I'm sorry. And he was very retrospective, and he wanted to talk about the ones that got away.
What was the one that got away?
Oh, there's several. Did he ever tell you about the Scorsese haunted house picture they were going to make with Disney in the early 80s?
No.
Do you want me to tell you about it?
No.
Okay.
We want to get to the...
I get it. So, I'm curious if there's any that you and he had worked on. Jesus. Not that one, guys. Whoever's working on the lights, please, thank you. Not that one. The house lights, if you can bring, for that I said light was good.
I'm taking credit.
Thank you. All right, so I'm kind of curious, back to what we were talking about. Is there any that you and he worked on that just got away that you didn't get to do?
Yeah, the very first one. George came to my high school when I was a sophomore. I went to an all-boys high school, 1,500 boys, men, and he was shooting a movie called Wine of the Fawn, and he was looking for a young kid to be in it, and he picked me out of the whole school. We did a screen test, costume, the whole thing. Never got made. Wine of the Fawn. It was way before Night of the Living Dead.
Yeah. Is there any more like when during the 70s and 80s, especially after you came back and after Dawn, that you was like, oh, this is almost a ready to go because it happened so many times?
No, there was some game, some...
Resident Evil?
Yeah, Resident Evil, yeah.
So were you going to be involved in that one?
I was supposed to be doing the effects.
What?
And all of a sudden I wasn't. I don't know why.
So, you all know that George was the first director attached to Resident Evil, and I've often thought what could have been. Not that Paul W.S. Anderson's movie sucks, but kind of does. All right, I'm going to shut up now because what we're here for is the people. Can you walk up right here to the corner and scream out your questions?
Oh, cool. This is only as good as your questions.
Yeah.
I don't think that's any good. You kind of already covered it.
I can't hear you.
I'm sitting by, it's probably not going to be that good. I think you've already covered it.
Here, let's get you a microphone, and then you can lay it right down here for the next time to come through, okay?
All right. I said mine's probably not going to be good. I think you've already covered it. Did you ever have an opportunity to work on the first Night of the Living Dead? I think you might have been in Vietnam at the time, but it was...
Yeah, I had enlisted in the Army to stay out of Vietnam. Because if you enlist, you get your choice of schools. And I chose photography, because I was already a photographer. I had a dark room, So I thought that would be easy. But they sent me right over it, okay. But before that, George was gearing up to do, he remembered me from the high school audition. But I showed him my portfolio. I was following him around the room, flipping pages. He said, yeah, we could use you on this thing, Night of the Living Dead. But they called me in, and I was in Vietnam when he did Night of the Living Dead. But full circle, years later, I directed the remake for him.
Yes.
By the way, Sony has re-released My Night of the Living Dead. It's completely uncut, uncensored. Everything is back in. And it begins the way I wanted it to begin 35 years ago. in black and white, and then it turns into color. So the steel case sold out. They're going to re-release more in November.
November?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, how much was that a dream come true to finally go back and finish the movie, your vision, the way you always
Well,
wanted it?
it's still not finished, you know. I used to say the movie is 30% of what I intended.
Yeah.
Now it's more like 60%. But then, you know, I wrote a book called Night of the Living Dead 90, the version you've never seen. And it's all the story, there's 600 storyboards, and I talk about what I didn't get to do. I'm still going to do it someday. No matter what movie is next, I'm going to put those scenes in it. So,
Okay.
whether it's a comedy or whatever. Come on up, yeah, keep coming.
Come on.
Keep coming, yeah.
Yeah.
In fact, let's get the line closer to the stage.
Yeah, that's
Come
fine.
on. There you go.
So, I've always been a fan of all your work. I think all of it looks amazing. But I have to ask you, what has been the most difficult effect to pull off?
Everything that we tried on Stephen King on Creepshow. You know, normally everything works because you got take 2, you got take 3, you keep going until you get it right. But we had a hand that grew plants, couldn't get it to work. We had a tongue that grew plants. We had green lenses to go in his eyes, we couldn't get him in. His reflexes, he couldn't relax enough for us to get the green eyes in. So that was the most difficult. But everything else has worked because you get multiple takes, you know. Yeah.
All right, thank you. Next question.
Good day, sir. I just wanted to let you know was going to ask about the Resident Evil movie, which
The what?
the Resident Evil movie.
Oh, yeah.
Which should have been great. I wanted to ask you about another movie that you were attached to once upon a time. Whatever happened to your remake of Nightmare City, and how close did it come to?
I haven't heard from those people in years. I heard they raised money, but I don't know where it went. It didn't go to me.
I understand that. That's one of my favorite older Italian undead movies, and I thought you would do a great job.
Well, I watched the original movie, and it's a plane that lands, and zombies get out of the plane. Who the fuck is flying the plane? You know, I thought it was totally stupid.
It was Italian. And no Italian zombie movie ever makes any sense. They're always great movies, but if you don't pay too much attention.
Yeah, well, they're asking you to accept a lot, I know. But the remake was a ship that came into a dock. Now that you could believe because a ship can kind of run on its own, but a plane can't land itself. You know? Anyway, yeah.
Well, I appreciate it. Thank
You're
you.
welcome, yeah.
So you're saying a zombie fighting a shark doesn't make sense to you? That's a deep cut for some of you out there. Come on. Next question. Yeah, you got it.
So I keep telling everyone that I know, especially someone that I know who really likes practical effects, about the Friday the 13th when we stepped through Kevin Bacon.
How is it possible that there's a microphone in front of you and I can't hear anything?
A little closer.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
There you go.
I have a friend that I keep telling who loves practical effects about when stabbing through Kevin Bacon in Friday the 13th.
Yes.
And the blood that made him go blind for a month, if I remember correctly. If I'm remembering that correctly.
The blood that made Kevin go blind for a month.
Am I remembering that wrong? I'm sorry.
Do you know
No,
about
that was Harry Crosby.
Oh, right. Sorry.
When he gets pinned to the door with the arrows. I wasn't there. They were pumping blood, you know, to come out of his eye down there.
Right, that's right.
And blood is not safe in the eyes back then. And it burned his eyeball. He had to go to the hospital.
I wanted to ask, what's an effect that you weren't sure if it was going to work correctly, or you were almost half-assing it, maybe not sure if it was going to go correctly, and then it went better than you expected?
All of them.
Thank you.
Is there a specific one, though, that just drove you absolutely insane, other than Creepshow?
No, I've been lucky.
Yeah.
You know, once you know how to do this stuff, I keep seeing on YouTube, hey, under special makeup effects, hey, I'm doing this effect. I need to do an effect of a guy with his, head burn, And I'm thinking, look, you either know how to do this stuff or you don't. Why are you asking the world how to do an effect for you, if you're supposed to be a special makeup effects person?
Yeah. Or you could go to your school.
They could do that.
Next.
I
know someone asked you about your time in Vietnam. How did being a combat photographer in Vietnam affect the realism of war and special effects and just the general direction?
Well, I saw horrible stuff there. You know, I had to photograph it. But my safety, my mental safety, when I looked at it was, how would I create that? You know, and so that's why when you see an effect by me, it's anatomically correct. It has to be anatomically correct, or it's not good enough. If the fake stuff doesn't give me the same feeling I got when I saw the real stuff, the fake stuff isn't real enough, and that's where my reputation is. Yeah.
Yes, thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you. All right, come on up. If you have questions, go ahead and line up.
All right, Tom, you are mostly known for your behind the camera work, but you have also spent some time in front of the camera.
I was Sex Machine.
Yeah. Come on, let's take a second for 99 from Dusk Till Dawn, Sex Machine. Badass.
And then you showed back up in the TV series for a few episodes.
I did 6 episodes of the.
One of the brighter spots of the show, I think.
Thank you.
But I was wondering what that was like and how that compared to your usual behind-the-scenes work.
Well, you know, the TV series was fun. It was still Robert Rodriguez, you know.
Yeah.
But I wasn't Sex Machine anymore. Jake Busey was Sex Machine. In fact, there's a scene in there where we're all arming up to go kill the. What are we killing? Is it zombies or vampires? Or?
Were those like snake-like vampires?
Oh, the snake vampires, yeah. So he picks up the dick gun. And he says, here, you should have something like this. And I said, that's the dumbest thing I've ever seen, and I threw it away, you know. To make fun of me wearing it in the original Dustwood. I didn't know I was going to wear that until they strapped it on me. We couldn't stop laughing.
That's quite the prop.
Yeah. Oh, and by the way, I did not kill that fucking snake in Friday the 13th, part 1. I wasn't there when they did it. I didn't know they did it. I didn't know they did it until I saw the movie. Go ahead, yeah.
Just thanks for your answer and thanks
You're
for
very
your
welcome.
work and everything.
All right, next victim.
You again. Okay.
I'm back, yeah. So I'm also really fascinated how your experience as a war photographer in Vietnam just like informed your process, you know, making these really amazing special effects right out of the gate. And I've heard these interviews where you talk about these things no one else would know unless they're in your position. For example, like the jaw going slack because all the muscles have released. And just the way people describe your work as even being a magic trick unfolding on camera, like turning over a zombie body and the guts spilling out. So I really want to hear more about how your experience as a photographer informed just like the magic of practical effects on cinema.
Well, okay, so what you were talking about at first was all the things that ruin movies for me when they're trying to portray death. You know, when you're dead, none of your muscles work anymore, including your jaw. So the jaw is always slack on a cadaver. It's always open and slack because these muscles don't work anymore. And thank you. And
I
the
have been
eyes,
in for 30 minutes, sorry.
and the eyes are always open. It takes a muscle contraction to close the eyes. So if some actor is in a movie and he's playing dead like, you know, he's just trying to look good for the camera. You know, he's not doing a great job of portraying the cadaver. But not everybody knows that, you know. So, but these are things that you know, make my stuff different than other people's. I've seen the real thing. I'm the only one that has seen the real thing. Okay. But I have a Vietnam story for you. When you're in Vietnam, you're there for a year, a whole year. After 6 months, you're allowed to go on R&R, rest and recuperation. Guys went to Australia, guys went to Japan. The guy that went to Japan, we gave a bunch of money. Hey, buy me a Nikon, buy me, you know. And, you know, back then it was pennies. Okay, so anyway, I waited till my 10th month because I didn't want to come back to Vietnam and have 6 months left. So when I got back, I had 2 months left. They put me on the worst duty possible, which was 30 days of guard duty. So you're here, that back wall is the jungle, and if they're coming, you're first contact, you know. You're in a bunker with 3 other guys. 2 guys are awake, 2 guys are asleep. And there's 7 bunkers. Every bunker was like an arsenal. M16 machine gun. The guys up top had grenade launchers, claymore mines. You know, every bunker was an arsenal. The first bunker is where the commanding officer was. Now, if you're not allowed, if you saw 1,000 Viet Cong running out of the jungle towards you, you were not allowed to open fire. You had to call the command bunker, get the officer up here with a night scope, and if he saw them, he would have to call battalion to get permission to fire. You're not allowed to open fire because there were friendly camps around and stuff like that. Anyway, in front of every bunker is a trip flare, a trip line. Well, 3 of them actually. If you cut it, it sets off a flare. If you bump it, it sets off a flare, okay? So it's 3 o'clock in the morning on my 7th day of guard duty, and my trip flare went off right in front of me. I immediately opened fire with the M16 machine gun. Morales unslinged his M16, he opens fire. The guys above us woke up, they're setting up, they're knocking trees over, claymore mines. Every bunker opened fire in front of my bunker. Forget 4th of July, you've never seen anything like that. Because every 3rd round is a tracer round. So at night you can see where the bullets are going, okay? So I immediately opened fire, and it was a duck. So now there's a caravan of headlights coming to me. And it was a general that got out of the Jeep. I saw the stars on his shoulder. And I'm shaking like crazy. He calms me down, says, "Why did you open fire, son?" "My trip flare went off, sir." "Well, what was it?" "It was a duck, sir." He said, "Did you get it?" "No, it flew away." We covered every square inch of ground with a shrapnel, a bullet, you know. So anyway, they took me off guard duty that night. The next night, we were attacked. They came. Guys in those bunkers. Died. Anyway, so as far as I'm concerned, the duck saved my life. Because, you know, the duck came and took me off guard duty, and the next night we're attacked. So I wonder if somebody threw the duck into the trip flare, you know, or the Viet Cong saw where we were, you know, and that's why they attacked. But the rest of my time in Vietnam, they called me the duck slayer, and I never eat duck. Okay.
Thank you for sharing your personal stories.
Thank you for sharing that. And thank you also for the snake. That really I didn't know about the trivia.
I can't hear you.
You run into
Thank you for the saving
No,
of the
I-
snake, and thank you for sharing that story.
Yeah.
I guess I was wondering, considering your experiences in Vietnam, and when you kind of came back, you're making practical effects. Were you worried that people were gonna be too grossed out by it, that they weren't gonna be able to handle it, or were you kind of like, this is how I'm gonna stand out, or how did you feel about that?
No, I wanted to freak people out, yeah. I didn't care. I mean, when I used to go see my movies, I didn't really watch the movie. I would pick somebody out in the audience and watch the evolution of their heart attack, because I knew what was coming, you know. But that wasn't my goal. My goal was to freak people out. But, you know, back then, we didn't call it PTSD. I'm sure I had it, because I was a zombie. I was an emotionless person when I came back. Because when you spend a year turning off your emotions, they don't just come back on, you know. So it was a movie that brought my emotions back. It was Midnight Cowboy. When Dustin Hoffman died in Midnight Cowboy, I went hysterical. I was in the theater crying my ass off. And everybody was gone. I'm still crying in the theater. And so I think that was a release of everything. That movie. It's funny, a movie began my career, and the movie brought me back to being an emotional person, you know, after Vietnam, after PTSD. Yeah, movies have had a great influence on my life. You bet. Bye.
All right, we got 2 more in here. Good.
Hello, can you hear me okay?
Yeah, now I can.
Cool. All right. I just have a simple question. Do you have a favorite movie monster, or just one that inspires you in general?
A favorite movie monster, that's tough. I saw The Creature from the Black Lagoon in the theater in 1954. I was 8 years old, okay? So that creature kind of, you know, I own like 3 or 4 of them at my house. You know, one in the backyard, one in the theater. So Creature from the Black Lagoon. As far as creatures go, no makeups, that's a different story.
Oh, yeah,
That's
creatures,
fine.
yeah.
Yeah. Probably the Creature from the Black Lagoon, yeah. Well, now it would be Alien. You know, Alien, Predator, there's been so many great creatures. Yeah.
Yeah, these days lately it depends on the week, but lately I've been thinking about Wishmaster. I know he's a djinn, but he's still a creature, I guess, in my head. And
Was there a
the
creature
werewolves.
in
Well, the Wishmaster himself, he's a djinn, so he's not human, so I guess
I
that's
never
still
saw
kind of
it.
coming in. And then the werewolves from Dog Soldiers, I've been thinking about that lately.
No, those were good, yeah. Those were
Big
good.
heads,
People come up to me and think I was in Wishmaster. I'm not in Wishmaster.
Oh
Does
yeah,
anybody think I was in Wishmaster? Okay.
Me neither,
There's
just for the
some
record.
scene in the drugstore that people think that I was in. I wasn't in that movie.
Right on, well thank you for sharing.
You
Creature
bet,
from Black
you bet.
Lagoon's awesome.
But he is in some Kevin Smith stuff.
Porno, something porno.
Zach and Mary. make a
Zach and
porno.
Mary make a porno, yeah.
Yeah.
And I was only in that because George Carlin had died. Because he was originally,
I didn't know that that was going to be George's part.
yeah, it was going to be George Carlin, yeah. Oh my God. Go ahead.
Okay, I got 2 questions for you, sir.
All right.
It's weird for me to use a microphone. Okay, first one is, when I was a kid, I had one of the fanzines I sent away. It was special effects from Tom Savini, $1.99, self-addressed stamped envelope. That's how old I am.
And what did you get for that?
I got basically a blood recipe and like a paste recipe, but it was a bunch of photocopied paper stapled together, so that wasn't...
It wasn't for me, yeah.
Okay, so that answers that question. Darn, I thought I had a stake in starting the university.
You didn't give that $2?
No,
Damn.
What's your second question?
My second question is, do you have a personal favorite effect that you did or somebody else did that you're just like, damn, I can't believe that came out?
There's just too many of them, yeah. For me, they're all my children, The helicopter zombie, that gets applause in the theater when they show it, It's a guy getting the top of his head blown off, but it gets people love it, okay? And as far as, anything Rick Baker did or Dick Smith or Rob Bottin, I think The Thing should be called Rob Bottin's The Thing, because it's his stuff that makes that movie. That wasn't me.
That wasn't you?
Everybody thinks that it was me in that goddamn blood pressure machine. That little fat Tony Booba, that's not me.
Okay, I'll go get Shane.
Yeah, get the fuck out of here.
Still a great effect.
It's a great effect, but it's not me.
All right.
I mean, I did the effect, but
We have time for 3 more questions. Jake, you'll be the last one. All right.
I was going to ask you what special effect you were proudest of, but you just asked that.
Yeah.
I also wanted to ask what is your favorite genre of horror, meaning working on as well as watching?
genre of horror?
Yeah.
Do you mean like slashers, monster movies, things like
Zombie,
that?
vampire,
yeah.
body horror, yeah.
No, anything horror, anything. All of it, yeah.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
you bet. Hi, come on up.
All right. Yep. Come on up.
Hello, Tom. Pleasure. Big fan. When you remade Night of the Living Dead, you had a big decision to make in terms of, yeah, right?
One guy, thanks.
No, they all feel it. Yeah. Night of the Living Dead remake.
Actually, I prefer your ending.
Of course.
I
do
prefer
too.
your ending
Yeah,
so
for
much.
sure.
Barbara was a brain dead twit in the first one.
Yeah, your ending's so much better.
She didn't know anything. But I just wanted to comment on your decision to cast the late great Tony Todd.
Yeah.
What it was like working with Tony on that set, and if he understood the importance of that role in that film.
Well, we went to LA, we went to New York to cast the movie. Lawrence Fishburne auditioned for Ben.
Really?
Yeah, and there's a black guy in the TV series ER, Eric LaSalle. He auditioned for Ben, and we were leaving New York. No, we were leaving the audition in Pittsburgh, and Tony Todd was standing outside. He actually grabbed me by the lapels, said, "You can't leave. You got to read me, okay?" So I gave him the script. He went outside for 5 minutes. He came back in without the script, knew all the lines, and produced tears. That's it, I closed the book, that's Ben. Because I wanted everybody to look like, except for Barbara, I wanted everybody to look like the original cast. I didn't want there to be that kind of a physical separation for the audience to have to deal with. But I knew Barbara was going to become a hero, and that's why I cast Patty Tallman. I went to college with Patty Tallman, and you know, we did flight classes together. First time I met her, she was kicking the shit out of her boyfriend. Fake, you know, it was a fake fight. So, Tony Todd, yeah, I mean, that was it when I saw his audition. And, you know, he was, what can I say? About working with him, it was a dream come true, you know.
Thank you, Tom.
Yeah, you
Appreciate
bet.
it.
Come on up. Here's our last victim.
We're not stopping there, right?
We can keep going if you want,
yeah, yeah.
absolutely. If we have more questions, I can
Yeah,
get
go ahead.
I can get 2 or 3 more up, okay? If you've got them, get ready.
Yeah, or we can talk about other stuff. Go ahead.
Go ahead.
So, I don't know if this is a question for you or Jason Baker, but I'm a diehard Bray.
I can't hear you.
Yeah, just a little louder.
I don't know if this is a question for you or Jason Baker, but I'm a diehard Bray Wyatt fan.
Yeah.
And before he made his return to WWE, there was talks that he was making a movie with Jason Baker. Do you know if that
No.
got off the ground?
No, that was after.
Um,
Yeah, we did the Bray Wyatt masks and belt for Bray Wyatt before he passed away.
Beautiful.
And he also, what was the name? Fireside Theater?
the Firefly.
Firefly, yeah.
Firefly Funhouse.
Yeah, it was kind of like Mr. Rogers, but with Bray Wyatt, yeah. But I don't know of any movie they were going to make.
Okay.
But there was certainly talk of them after we connected, yeah.
Okay.
Go ahead.
All right.
Yeah, come on up.
Next question.
You can raise your hand out there too, and we'll just call on you.
Hello, sir. First, thank you for all the entertainment through the years. Thank you for your service.
Thank you.
And my question is there a dream project you would like to do? A book to bring out to the movie cinemas? A movie that's been made that you want to put a stamp on?
Yeah, I wrote a script of The Most Dangerous Game.
Oh, this still never been really, it's never kind of been done. Only
No, I know. But in my version, the hero was a Hollywood stuntman, so he could do a lot of physical stuff. You know, if you're not familiar with The Most Dangerous Game, a guy was hunting people. He had a group of guys, not with guns, but with bows and arrows, hunting humans, killing them and taking their heads off and posting them in a trophy room. Well, in my version, the guy was a stuntman, and he gave them a lot of trouble. And they never did catch up to him, and he wound up going back to the castle and killing the villain, you know. The original movie was like before King Kong, 1930. And I thought it was stupid. The fencing was stupid, you know. Mine was going to have the greatest fencing scene you've ever seen, you know. Anyway, so I'm still hoping to do that someday, you know. The Most Dangerous Game.
And if you've never read it, check it out. It has one of the best ending lines of any kind of story. Like
What is the ending?
I can't remember, but it's like one of us is going to sit here while the other one has dinner because he's going to murder him. Do you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
But it's so eloquent, and I didn't know I was going to be talking about The Most Dangerous Game this morning. Otherwise, I would.
Well, mine has some brilliant lines in it too.
Yeah.
But thank you.
Thank you again.
You bet, anytime.
Honestly, it's been an honor to talk.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right, come on up here.
This is always fun.
Am I close enough this time?
Yeah.
Okay. I have to ask, whenever you watch, if you watch like maybe like B horror movies or like cheaper horror movies, do you enjoy like laugh at the bad special effects, or are you like, that's just watered down red paint, that looks like shit?
All of the above. No, I love, listen, Naked Gun sucked. Superman sucked. Weapons, have you seen Weapons?
Yeah.
Fantastic. And it's a premise that is so, you have to accept the premise. And the premise is way out there, but you want to accept it, you know? I mean, that's what makes a good movie. Something like Weapons, where, you know, the plot is so unique.
Right. It's or Hereditary or Barbarian. Their first movie, Barbarian. Did you like Barbarian?
I didn't see that one.
Oh my! If you liked Weapons, you've got to go back and watch it. It's the same thing. If you're going to accept that third act, you're going into it. You either accept it or you don't.
Well, I haven't seen Sinners yet, and I hear
Sinners is a lot of fun.
It's a rip-off of From Dusk Till Dawn. Yeah. Right? Okay, don't spoil it.
Yeah, come on up. Hey, can we get the door back there closed a little bit? A little noise is coming through. Thank you.
Hello. So I have 2 questions. My first one is there a Hollywood movie that has the worst special effects you've ever seen?
I'm sure there is, yeah.
Yeah.
What would that be? What would that be? Jesus. Armageddon? That was a long time ago. I don't remember much about that movie now. I mean, but you're opening it up to CGI and makeup.
I know. Yeah,
you know,
I guess that's too big.
Yeah, I'd have to look through a whole list of films where I could say, oh yeah, that one was stupid. This one was great, you know. Yeah, I need to see a
I'd
list.
probably say the prequels, the Star Wars prequels myself, but
Those are universally disliked, yeah.
not the Gen Zers. They love it. I
Oh,
don't know
yeah.
why.
They do.
They do. But sorry, a controversial take. But my other question is, if you could remake any modern day horror movie, like one that's come out in the last 10 years, which movie would you remake?
I was supposed to direct Pet Sematary a long time ago. No, I thought she did a great job with it, though. You know.
She did, but George was going to direct it too. So where were you going to end this kind of? How was this going to work? Because that's also one of when I was talking about George earlier. That's one of the ones he wanted to talk about. But that and Resident Evil, they got away. So where in that timeline with Laurel were you going to do Pet Sematary?
Listen. I do not have a chronological memory. I can't answer when questions.
I was just curious. You see what I mean of how that fell through? So
I don't know. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, I know I did stuff. I just don't know when I did it. I had to. Greg Nicotero had to put my movies in order from my books because I didn't know when I did Texas compared to Creepshow. Yeah, I just don't know. I just don't have a chronological memory. I don't give a shit, I think, you know?
No, I understand. And honestly, when you're doing it, it's a job, it's a show, and then you move on to what?
Right.
Just like everybody else. You do your job and you go on.
No, we did 2. Was there a third?
No, I didn't know if there was another movie, but yeah, you would have done a really good Pet Sematary.
Yeah.
All right, thanks.
Thank
You
you.
bet. You bet. Okay, we should go on the road. We should get an act together and go on the road.
So, you've been making and viewing horror films for decades. How do you, as a filmmaker and a film consumer, how do you feel about the genre, the horror genre today, and what excites you most about the future of the horror genre?
Well, you know, nobody can predict the future. You can only guess as to what's going to happen. But, you know, I don't think there is I haven't seen a good horror movie in a long, long time. Weapons, you know. Yeah, the future, I don't know. I mean, we don't know. You know, I posted a thing. Anybody ever see Savini Linguini? It's on my Instagram. You never saw that? Somebody sent it to me, and it's an AI of me walking down the street in Italy with a huge vat of linguine, and I start eating it. And then the linguine turns into a linguine monster, you know, and he starts opening and closing his mouth. Then he turns out to be a 15-foot linguine monster. You know, it's all AI. I posted that because I thought it was clever. You wouldn't believe the flack I got from the public. Oh, Savini's going to AI now, you know. I haven't made any switch to AI. You know, all my stuff is happening right in front of you on the screen. I've never used CGI, you know. So, but the flack I got from appreciating AI, and I do appreciate AI. If somebody told you 10 years ago, you're an artist, okay? If somebody said to you, hey, you're going to be able to take from all of the greatest art ever created to help you create your thing, you would be excited as hell. Why is it the other way around?
It's just another tool like anything else. And
It is a tool.
And the problem is the tool, and this is what, in my opinion, if you don't mind me saying, we forget storytelling and we put the emphasis on the tool. The tool should be helping the story.
Well, some people do that, and that's their mistake. But if it's used properly, like CGI, you know, I wish we had CGI when I was trying to solve a problem, you know, a long time ago. You know, hide an edge or something, you know. But it's just a tool in somebody's toolbox that can be misused, as you said, you know. Yeah. You bet. Come on up.
Come on up.
So many of your films are on repeat for me.
Wait, so many
of your films are repeat watches for me, like must watch. I share them with everyone. what films are like that for you? Are there any that are?
Well, you know, it's not an old movie if you haven't seen it, you know. Any movie is brand new, even silent films, if you haven't seen it, it's brand new. Now, what'd you say for me?
What's your repeat watch?
What are your repeat watches?
Benicio del Toro's Wolfman movie, Bram Stoker's Dracula. Do you know anything about Luc Besson's Dracula?
Talk about it.
You have seen it? Have you seen the previews to Luc Besson's Dracula? Okay. Somebody sent me a streaming service on my phone. I spent the last 3 nights watching it on my phone, pissed off. I went to Amazon and ordered a cable that would connect my iPhone to the TV, you know, iPhone to HDMI. They sent it to my house in Pittsburgh. So I ordered it again, and I thought I'd changed the address. It's on my doorstep in Pittsburgh right now. Because I wanted to hook my phone up to the TV to watch Luke. Have you seen the preview?
I haven't seen the previews.
In
fact, I didn't know about it till you just said it.
It's unbelievable. It's like Bram Stoker's Dracula, but directed by the guy who did Valerian and what's Bruce Willis?
The Fifth Element.
Fifth Element, yeah. So it's Luc Besson. Anyway, you know, in Francis Coppola's battles, it was silhouettes cut out, you know. In this movie, it's a huge army with armor and fighting, and it's incredible. And that's just at the beginning, you know. So I'm watching it, and it's kind of breaking my heart, because Dracula is like so sympathetic, you know. And it's gorgeous to watch, because it's Luc Besson. It's not going to come out until February. So I've been asking every dealer here who has videos if they have a bootleg of Luc Besson's Dracula. Anyway, I went off on a tangent on your.
No, it's great. Every one of us has now got something to look forward to that I didn't even know existed. And also the professional if you've never
Do
seen.
you want to raise your hand and just scream a question?
Yeah, go right ahead. Just 2 or 3 more though.
Do you have a project you're currently working on that you're excited about that you might be able to share with us?
I'm not allowed to talk about it.
We won't tell a soul. We won't say a word. It'll never leave this room. Is there anything you can talk about that's coming out?
Well, I'm in Terrifier 3.
Yeah, we saw that.
But don't go watch it. It's so vile. You know? No, I'm sure you're big fans of that. Well, no, I'm in Killer Clowns from Outer Space video game. I did the Friday the 13th video game, the Evil Dead video game. And there's something else out there where you can choose me to go on a quest. Now I can't remember it. I saw my grandson playing it. Anyway. Oh no, in Killer Clowns. In Killer Clowns, you can choose me or some clown. Okay.
Before we move on to the next question, Damien Leone is a really nice guy. Spend some time with him. But I kind of think you and I probably are on the same page. How do you feel about those Terrifier movies? Have you seen all of them?
No. I've only seen part 3 because I went to the premiere and sat next to Damien Leone, so I couldn't leave. I couldn't walk out. It's right here, okay? And afterwards, I'm talking to the cast outside of the wrap party where they were smoking cigarettes, and I was talking to the guy that got the chainsaw up his butt. I was talking about how horrible that was, and he pointed out 4 things that I've done that are more horrible. Okay?
Really? What's more horrible?
Well, tearing off Tasso's head in Day of the Dead, tearing Joe Pilato in half, that sort of thing. I kind of forget that I have done a lot of really horrible things. I've killed a lot of people in movies in my life, But Damien Leone, he texted me from Spain. He said, we're showing the movie and people are passing out, people are leaving, people are puking, and it's all your fault. My fault. He really, I'm a big influence on him. First convention I ever did with him, he came down and whispered in my ear, you see all this? Pointing to all the Terrifier stuff. He said, it's all because of you, okay? So I'm I sit at my table and people come up, and quite a number of them have been inspired to do makeup effects and stuff because of me. And I'm happy to have inspired so many people. Yeah. Anybody else?
Yeah, it's time for one more.
Way back there, yeah.
Go ahead, Luke.
Scream it.
Take your time.
You had met Bray Wyatt, the wrestler, back when he was alive in like 2020s or 2019, when you were trying to create a persona of the Fiend.
are the wrestler, what's his name again? This one?
Bray Wyatt.
Bray Wyatt, yeah. And you was trying to create his persona, is that what you're asking? The theme? Fiend, the Fiend. I'm deaf too.
Well, we make masks for all the wrestlers. Rey Mysterio, we've done Triple H's masks 5 years in a row for WrestleMania. We do all the masks for them. I did the mask for the Black Phone, if you've seen the Black Phone. So lately, yeah, thank you. So lately it's been mask making has been like what's been supporting, the company. But what was his question though?
Was that your question of just asking about it?
Oh, of course, yeah. No, we were pals. He was hilarious. He was hilarious. In fact, he's from Brooksville, Florida, and that's where I did my first movie called Death Dream. It was in Brooksville, Florida. So we had a lot in common, and he was just a funny guy. He was hilarious. But he was also big and, muscular and tough. I said to him one day, I said, hey, when you punch somebody in the ring, what are you aiming at? Because they're not really doing it, I said, what are you aiming at? And he threw a punch that stopped a micro inch from my nose. He said, I would just throw it right there. But you have to react like you're getting hit. The person getting hit is the person that sells it, not so much the guy throwing the punch, I think wrestling is like modern day gladiators, stuntmen doing a stunt show for you. Fake or not, those guys get hurt, And that's what they do is a science, what every move they make. Anyway, long answer to your short question. Anybody else with a hand up? Right here.
Was it your idea to change the bottom of the Black Phone 2 mask where it has
Was it
different...
my idea to change the bottom? No, the director, Scott Derrickson, wanted it to come apart. Because the bottoms are 3 different facial expressions. The smile, the frown, and then blank. He wanted to be able to put different masks on him for whatever mood he wanted to convey. I haven't seen part 2, but I hear it's better. Anybody seen part 2?
Is it really better? Because honestly, I thought part 1 was one of the best written screenplays because it tells you exactly how it's going to end in the first 5 minutes.
I like 1 better, she liked 2 better.
You like 2 better, okay. Now, but Ethan Hawke is in part 2, right?
Yeah.
Well, how the hell did he come back? No, don't
tell me. All right, ma'am, right there, you're going to be as much as I am loving every minute of this, you have got to be our last question because he's got to get back to his table. Be here the rest of the day. If you didn't get your questions, come see Tom.
Yeah.
Ma'am, last question.
Scream it.
Scream it.
So I understand that you love movies, of course, but with the horror genre for books, do you have a favorite horror book that you've read?
A favorite horror novel?
I just saw a fan brought to my table the book was that Bad Moon Rising. I didn't know I was in this book. I'm a character in this book. By the way, I ordered it, Amazon delivered it, right? So, I have another book called Intercepts, a horror novel called Intercepts. That's pretty damn good, yeah, that would be about it, yeah.
Here's what you're going to do. You're going to stand up if you can, and you're going to scream, and you're going to thank this man, this legend, for sharing the most important thing he has, time with you. Thank you, Tom Savini.